Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really zooming in, uh, putting a magnifying glass on one game that just completely shook up the AFC playoff picture last week.
We are. We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and the Indianapolis Colts. An absolutely wild game.
Wild is the word for it. The Chiefs were down by 11 in the fourth quarter and somehow came back to win 23-20 in overtime.
And this wasn't just another win. I mean, this was a season saver. They were staring at a record below .500. So our mission today, using this great FOX Sports piece you sent over, is to really pull apart the strategy.
Exactly. Who made the big plays? Who made the big mistakes? And, what does this all mean for both of these teams going forward?
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start where the article starts. The big, bold takeaway right at the top. The death of the Chiefs dynasty has been greatly exaggerated.
It's the headline of their whole season, isn't it? And, you look at the box score and you see Patrick Mahomes, 29 of 46 for 352 yards.
And you think, okay, classic Mahomes.
Exactly. But the source here, it makes a really key point, saying it was not necessarily his finest game.
Right. And that contradiction is what's so interesting. They won, but it was messy. So what were the struggles before that final comeback?
Well, for about 3/4, it was rough. I mean, he was overthrowing guys who were wide open, which you just don't see from him very often.
And the drops.
Oh, the drops were a killer, especially from the tight ends. They just could not find any kind of rhythm. It felt like they were fighting themselves more than the Colts.
But then, the script completely flips. This is where the legend comes from. They get the ball, backed up on their own 3-yard line, just needing a field goal to tie.
And that's when, as the article puts it, he becomes magic.
That one drive. It's just the definition of clutch.
Think about it. Your own 3-yard line. The Colts offense, the #1 offense in the league, is feeling it. That's usually panic time.
Instead, what does he do?
He immediately hits Rashee Rice for a 47-yard bomb. Right away. That single play just changed everything, give them room to operate.
And even then, it wasn't easy. He still had to go 5 for 8 for 85 yards on that drive. And then came that massive 4th and 3.
Hits Rice again for 19 yards. I mean, if they don't get that, their season is effectively over. Right there.
It just hammers home the lesson for the whole league, doesn't it?
It really does. You just cannot, under any circumstances, give Patrick Mahomes a chance. All those problems, the drops, the sloppy play, it just melts away when the pressure is at its absolute peak. He becomes, money when it mattered.
And it wasn't just that drive. In overtime, same story. The offense stalls a bit.
Yep, and then on 3rd down, he dodges a blitz, rolls out, and just launches that 30-yarder to Xavier Worthy.
Game over. Sets up the Butker field goal. It's a mental switch you can almost see flipping. The guy who was missing throws early is suddenly making impossible plays look easy.
The takeaway for you listening isn't just about his talent. We all know he's talented. It's that his ability to perform under pressure is, right now, greater than his team's problems.
Okay, so while Mahomes is doing his thing on offense, the article gives just a ton of credit to the man running the defense.
Steve Spagnuolo.
And this is where we get that big strategic contrast. The source argues that Spags deserves another shot at a head coaching job.
Which is a fascinating idea because you have to remember the context here. His only real head coaching job with the Rams.
It was a disaster, let's be honest.
A total disaster, yeah. And he's 65 now in a league that wants the next young offensive genius. So why does the analysis say he's ready now?
Well, the results speak for themselves, don't they? I mean, look at who he just shut down. The Colts came in with the #1 offense in the NFL.
Averaging almost 400 yards a game.
And Spagnuolo's defense held them to 255 total yards. But it's when they did it that's so incredible.
The clutch performance from the defense was staggering. In the fourth quarter, they forced 3 straight 3-and-outs.
3 in a row.
And then another one in overtime, so let that sink in. In the last 23 minutes of play, the Colts offense had 12 plays for 18 total yards. They were completely erased.
And it wasn't just about getting after the quarterback, Daniel Jones. I mean, they were forcing bad throws, but they did something else just as important.
They shut down the best running back in the league.
Completely.
Jonathan Taylor was leading the NFL in rushing, averaging like 114 yards a game. Spags' scheme held him to just 58 yards. That's elite game planning. You see the pattern, you connect the dots, and you execute.
So the argument is that his ability to scheme to shut down these high-powered offenses is just too valuable to ignore because of his age or a coaching job from a decade ago.
Exactly. The system just flat out works.
Which brings us to the other side of that coin. The Colts. If Spagnuolo was brilliant, The article frames what head coach Shane Steichen did as a profound mystery.
And the mystery is really simple. Why on earth did you stop giving the ball to Jonathan Taylor?
Especially with a lead. Taylor is leading the league with, what, 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns. He's your guy.
He's your engine. And the numbers, when you break them down, are just glaring.
So the Colts ran 50 offensive plays in the whole game.
Right. And only 19 of those went to Taylor. Just 16 rushes.
So your best player, maybe an MVP candidate, touched the ball on only 38% of the plays.
Yeah.
While you're trying to protect a lead in the fourth quarter, that just feels wrong.
It's a strategic blunder.
Yeah.
And you have to understand why. Even if Taylor isn't breaking off huge runs, even if he's just getting 3 or 4 yards,
You're tiring out the defense.
you're tiring them out. And more importantly, you are running the clock. You're giving Patrick Mahomes fewer chances to get the ball back. That's how you close out a game against an elite quarterback.
Instead, Steichen wanted Daniel Jones to be his guy, as the article says. He kept putting the ball in the air.
And in doing that, he played right into Spagnuolo's hands. He gave the ball back to Mahomes with too much time, and the analysis is blunt. They paid for that decision.
So we've got Mahomes' magic and Spagnuolo's defense on one side, and the Colts' strategic error on the other. But here's the big catch, the fourth takeaway for Kansas City.
Right. The article calls them an oddly mistake-prone team.
And this is the thing that has been plaguing them all season, is why this game was even close.
I mean, look at the time of possession. It's insane. The Chiefs held the ball for over 42 minutes.
42-35, to be exact. They had 2 different drives in the first half that lasted 8 minutes each.
And for all that dominance, what did they have to show for it?
6 points.
Yeah.
2 field goals. It's like they were actively trying to make it as difficult as possible.
They kept shooting themselves in the foot. You had the early interception from Mahomes. You had a Travis Kelce touchdown run called back because of a face mask on Jawan Taylor.
Back-to-back sacks on another drive that looked promising, and then settling for that field goal at the end of the half because Mahomes missed 2 open guys in the end zone.
Even the game-tying drive, the miracle drive, was almost derailed by a pass interference on Kelce that pushed them all the way back to their own 3-yard line again.
It's a pattern. They're good enough to overcome it most of the time.
But it's why their season was pushed to the brink. They're relying on talent to bail them out of these constant self-inflicted wounds. And that is just not a sustainable way to win a championship.
Okay, so that brings us to the future. What does this actually mean for both teams moving forward? For the Chiefs, they're now 6-5.
And they're just a half game out of that last wild card spot, so they're right back in it.
And their schedule does get a little easier down the stretch.
It does. They get a bit of a soft spot later with Tennessee and Las Vegas, who have not had great seasons, so there's a path for them.
But the immediate test is a big one, at Dallas on Thanksgiving.
A huge one. That's a real measuring stick. We'll see if they can finally play a clean game against a good team.
And for the Colts,
Yeah.
this loss has to be just crushing.
Devastating. They failed to extend their division lead, and now their schedule is, well, it's a meat grinder. They're 8-3, but look who's coming up.
They start with the Texans, who have the best defense in the league.
And then their last 6 games is just brutal. 2 against the Texans, 2 against the Jaguars, a game against the 49ers, and a road trip to Seattle.
Wow. So that decision to not run the ball against the Chiefs, it could end up costing them their entire season.
It really could loom that large come December.
So when you boil it all down, this game was really a story of 2 conflicting ideas.
I think so. It was a perfect dichotomy. You had this undeniable, raw talent, Mahomes' arm, Spagnuolo's brain battling against just systemic sloppiness.
The Chiefs almost lost because of penalties and drops. The Colts lost because they hesitated, because they didn't trust their best player to close out the game.
It was a game decided by brilliance and self-sabotage all at the same time.
Well, this was a fantastic deep dive. Thanks for walking us through the source material.
My pleasure. And as we wrap up, I'll leave you with one final thought to chew on, something that builds on what we've been talking about.
Let's hear it.
If the Chiefs have to keep relying on these miraculous last-second escapes to win, if they keep making all these self-inflicted mistakes, how long can that Mahomes magic really last? Especially when they run into disciplined teams with elite defenses like the 49ers or Seahawks on that Colts schedule. Can pure talent consistently overcome a lack of discipline? Something to think about this week.